Hello, musician friends. Tasia here, and I'm just going to give you a quick tour of my music journey template. This is a Notion template, and it's built using a combination of databases and dashboards to help you navigate your music journey. This includes a practice journal, an overview of music that you're studying, a dashboard page for performances, and a dashboard page for reviewing your practice and performances. This is a advanced Notion template, and I would recommend it for intermediate to advanced Notion users. But if you're interested in something similar to this, I do also have a simple practice journal available. So with the music journey template, you're going to come, and the main dashboard is your music journey page. And at the top, you'll see navigational menus on each page. And the main pages are going to be your music journey, your journal, your music, performances, and review. Now, on your music journey dashboard, this is just kind of a quick overview of music that you are currently working on. So we have this practice journal snapshot, and this is only going to show anything from the past week or the upcoming week. And with this header here, this actually also links to your practice journal dashboard page. If we scroll down, you can see a section for music you're studying and my performances. This is just going to show anything that you are currently studying. In your repertoire library and your techniques methods library, you will have the ability to select something as currently studying, and that is what shows up on this front page here. And same thing with the practice journal header. This music I'm studying header also links to your music page, and my performances links to your performances page. And this is only going to show your 10 most recent performances of anything that you upload to this database. Excuse me for a second. Okay. So from here, don't need that showing. Come on. There we go. So from here, we scroll down to the bottom of your music journey dashboard page, and you'll see you have this navigational menu at the bottom of the page as well. I included some recommended resources, and these are just links to websites or blogs and books that I highly, highly recommend. I've also included a link to a download for the icons used throughout this dashboard, and they come from Icon Crafts and Smashing Magazine. They were a free download, but I went ahead and included the source credit for these icons. And finally, at the very bottom of your music journey page is where all of your core or your source databases and dashboard pages are going to live. For the most part, you won't be editing or doing anything down here, but this is where your practice log, practice strategies, technique and methods library, repertoire library, composers library, performance timeline, and recordings databases live. And the primary dashboard pages that we have are the practice journal, music I'm studying, performances, and practice and performance review, which we'll dive into those in just a moment. Now, if you do decide to purchase this template, then you will also have access to the database video tour. That's going to be a more comprehensive tour that goes into some of the details of each of these databases and how they relate to each other, how the entry templates work, and how you can actually use these databases and this template in general. From here, let's jump on over to our practice journal page. So this practice journal page is where you'll be able to see any of your recent or upcoming practice journal entries. I have this beginning section is going to be to help you prepare for an effective practice. And that will entail reviewing the 5 zones of practice, which is a concept introduced by Gerald Quickstein in The Musician's Way. He also talks about it on his blog, so I went ahead and linked to the blog on his website. But I do highly recommend checking out that book if you can. And then I also firmly believe in taking art breaks throughout your practice sessions, and what that stands for is attention restoration theory. That's just a concept that your brain needs a chance to refresh and rejuvenate in between long focus periods. So that's a crucial thing to help you with having a more effective practice session. And that's something I talk about on my website, so I link to that blog article below. But I also included a quick little checklist for helping you to determine if you have a restorative place to help rejuvenate whenever you take breaks during your practice. So on this page, you can come in and add in your practice entries for the day. You can also come down here and take a look at your performance timeline. This is for any music that you're working on where it's a performance piece and you need to have that timeline leading up to the performance, making sure you're hitting your primary goals and checkpoints so that you're ready for your performance when that day comes. This is filtered to just show you anything for the past week or upcoming week. Excuse me. And I just have a little bit of sample data in here so you can see how it looks. Now, underneath here, we have our practice strategies database, and this is just a list of different practice strategies you can use during your practice sessions with a quick description, and if there's a source, then I included a link to that source. From here, let's jump over to our music page. So this is going to be any music that you are studying. It's going to include linked databases for your repertoire library, your techniques and methods library, and a performance overview. So at the top, we have repertoire I'm studying. This is based off of any music that you have checkmarked as currently studying. So this is where you can build your repertoire library, and when you're done with a piece, you can just uncheck it, and it'll be removed from your current studying list. Same thing with techniques you're studying. This is where you can include any like pre-practice stretching or warm-ups that you do. With all of these examples, I am actually a classically trained percussionist, so all of my sample data in here is coming from that background. That's why I have some snare drum stuff, some keyboard percussion. My solos that I have listed in here are for marimba and timpani. But as you scroll down here, you can see your performance schedule. This is where you can pop open your calendar to see what scheduled performances you have. This is based off of your performance timeline for any pieces that you, or any music that you add to your repertoire library with a performance deadline. You can add those checkpoints into your performance timeline, and this particular calendar view is only filtered to show the actual performance dates. I don't have any current for this month, so there aren't any showing, but as you get more performances on your calendar, that's where you would be able to see them. And finally, at the bottom here, this is your composers that you are studying. Now, with this template, you have the ability to add in composers as you are working on new music, but I went ahead and pre-populated this entire database with a list of the 40 most common historical composers, and with those I include, it's sorted by last name, first name, and then I included country of origin, their lifespan, era or genre, and then any repertoire that you are performing by them, and then also a list of their famous works. Next up, we have our performances dashboard. And this is where you can upload any video recordings or audio recordings of your performances or any practice sessions that you want to include video or audio records of. So at the very top here is your currently studying. Again, it'll only show up for anything marked in your repertoire library as currently studying. And then we have a section for just audio recordings, just video recordings, and your concert and live performance schedule. Similar to the music page, this is only showing actual performances. And then we also have a calendar of recordings, which is going to show you the date that you recorded. Like on a calendar, it'll show you where each of these recordings fall. Finally, we have our practice and performance review page. And this is where you can go in and get more of a bird's eye view of some of your data that you're collecting during your practice sessions. With your practice journal, there are a number of fields that you can fill out related to a practice session. And that's where in this practice review, you can kind of get a glance of the basic information you want to keep track of for your different practice sessions. So for example, this first one, you have the title of the practice entry. Then it automatically is going to calculate the length of that practice session, the effectiveness. You can rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. It'll include a link to any recordings from a particular practice session. You can track the solos or any music from your repertoire library. It'll automatically pull in the instrument for the pieces that you practiced. Same thing with your techniques and methods library. It'll pull in the instrument or instruments that you've worked on. You can also track different practice strategies that you use. I want to not open that up right now. Sorry, getting a little click happy. But you can practice different practice strategies. You can record your goals for each practice session and then also provide a practice summary. And in this review, you can kind of see everything side by side, so it's a little bit easier, quicker overview of different practice sessions. And same thing with your performance review. When you upload a recording into your recordings database, you can embed the video file directly in there or the audio file directly in there, but then you also have the option to fill out some fields based on a rating, 1 to 5, how well you felt that recording went, and you can also jot down a few notes related to that recording. And again, this is going to be your currently studying video and audio files, and then this little section over here is just going to give you a quick overview of anything recent that has been added, and it'll just show you what type of recording it was and then your rating for it. And that wraps up our music journey tour. Again, if you decide to purchase this template, you will have access to a way more in-depth, detailed description and explanation of all the different databases and how to use them not interchangeably, but how they all relate to each other and how to most effectively use this entire template to help you track your music journey.